Mr. Carroll has agreed that Mr. Gundekunst is no longer subject to recall.
Okay,
And
all
so
right,
we'd ask he be released.
All right, is that true? All right, I'll make that notation, it'll be noted on the record.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, please roll. Do you swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this case under penalty of law? I do. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you today?
Good afternoon. I'm good, thank you.
Can you please state and spell your name for the court record?
My name is Madeline Crowley, Madeline
Thank you. What is your current occupation and where are you employed?
I am a senior DNA analyst and a DNA analyst trainer at Bode Technology.
How long have you been employed at Bode?
I've been employed for about 7.5 years.
All right. Did you have any experience in analyzing DNA prior to working for Bode?
No, I began working the year that I graduated, and I graduated with a degree where I learned and had experience in the DNA analysis process.
All right. What are your responsibilities as a DNA analyst for Bode?
As a DNA analyst, I am responsible for directing and overseeing the in-lab processing of casework samples, analyzing the results, performing comparisons and statistics as needed, documenting the findings in a formal report, and testifying as needed.
Did Bode have you go through any training programs when you came to work for them?
Yes, Bode has a very thorough training program that lasts approximately 6 months. I was required to attend lectures, read required readings, observe qualified individuals in each procedure that I was training in. I then was required to complete 3 sets of mock cases from start to finish, meaning from receiving the evidence, doing that in-lab processing, doing my interpretations, and writing the reports. These 3 sets, the first was a supervised set where I was observed by a qualified individual, the next was unsupervised, and the last was a competency set where I was to complete all casework independently. After successful completion of these 3 sets, I then was required to take a written exam on theory of procedure, complete a verbal exam on troubleshooting complex scenarios, and participate in a mock trial from one of the cases in my competency set. And I was required to have earned an 80% or higher on all of those exams, and I did satisfactorily and became qualified as an analyst.
Thank you. Have you ever testified as an expert before?
I have.
All right. I'm going to ask at this time that Ms. Crowley be admitted as an expert in DNA analysis.
Any objection? No. All right, so moved.
Thank you. Tell us a little bit about Bode. We've heard from DFS. Is Bode established here in Virginia?
Yes.
Okay. And how long have they been performing DNA testing?
Since 1995, so about 31 years.
Okay. Are they accredited?
Yes, we are.
All right. Does your lab have a quality assurance process to ensure the reliability of their testing?
Yes, we do.
Okay. I'm going to ask you, was Bode Technology given items of evidence to analyze for this case?
Yes, we were.
I'm going to direct you to what is marked as Commonwealth's Exhibit 168, a certificate of analysis from December 21st, 2023. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
All right, Commonwealth would offer that into evidence at this time.
Any objection? All right, 168 in evidence.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to shift for just a second back over to what was previously admitted as Commonwealth's 150, Joe Ryan's jeans. Does this photo accurately depict the items that were received by Bode for testing?
Yes, it does.
Okay, what areas of this item were sampled?
So within the red-brown staining on the upper right thigh of the jeans, we took 2 samples. We sampled one area within that red-brown staining, and we sampled another area between and around that red-brown staining.
And did you receive samples for comparison?
Yes, we did not receive physical samples to test. We received submitted DNA profiles for comparison.
And what were the results and conclusions from the sample of the jeans leg avoiding staining? So not the red-brown, but the area outside the red-brown.
May I refer, Your Honor,
Yes.
may I refer to my report?
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Thank
I can
you.
switch back over to it, or if you have your own copy. All right, where would you like me to stop?
The number 2.
Page 2?
No, the
Sorry.
number 2 and results.
There you go. I think that gets most of it in there.
Yes. So the DNA profile obtained from, this is the portion avoiding the red-brown staining, is consistent with a mixture of 3 or more individuals with a major mixture component of 2 individuals, including a major male contributor. This deduced major component DNA profile matches the DNA profile provided for Joseph Ryan. The probability of randomly selecting an unrelated individual with this DNA profile is at least 1 in 180 septillion in the US population. The deduced minor component DNA profile matches the DNA profile for Christine Banfield. The probability of randomly selecting an unrelated individual with this DNA profile is at least 1 in 83 sextillion in the US population. There were 2 locations that we tested not used in that statistical calculation due to the inability to resolve a minor component. Brendan Banfield and Julia Magaz are excluded as possible contributors to the major mixture component DNA profile deduced from the sample listed above. And due to the possibility of allelic dropout, no conclusions can be made on the minor alleles that are not part of the major mixture.
All right, so let's talk really quickly about major and minor. We talked about this on the phone at one point. Does it inherently mean that there is more of the substance being tested, let's say blood, if it's a major contributor, and less DNA in the substance being tested if it's a minor contributor?
So a major contributor is able to be deduced when we have more of that component than the rest of the profile. So yes, being able to pull a major component means that there was more DNA from that component, that individual, in the evidence sample.
Okay, but again, more DNA, not necessarily more blood or
Correct, more DNA.
skin cells, more anything. It's specifically, if we were to take a pin dot, it's within that pin dot of matter that you're testing that you see a minor and major contributor. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. You also tested the red-brown staining itself. What were the results of that testing?
The DNA profile obtained is consistent with a mixture of 3 or more individuals with a major mixture component of 2 individuals, including a major male contributor. The deduced major component DNA profile matches the DNA profile provided for Joseph Ryan. The probability of randomly selecting an unrelated individual with this DNA profile is at least 1 in 180 septillion in the US population. This deduced minor component DNA profile matches the DNA profile provided for Christine Banfield. The probability of randomly selecting an unrelated individual with this DNA profile is at least 1 in 12 sextillion in the US population. And the following loci were not used in the statistical calculation. There were 4 locations not used in this statistical calculation due to the inability to resolve a minor component. Brendan Banfield and Juliana Magaz are excluded as possible contributors to the major mixture component of that DNA profile. And due to the possibility of allelic dropout, no conclusions can be made on the minor alleles that were not part of that major mixture component.
Thank you. Quick question. Do you know why Fairfax County sent this item to your lab, Bode Technology, rather than leaving it with DFS?
Specifically for this case, no, we were not informed why they chose to have us process the case. However, this is typical. As we are a private lab, we receive requests from state labs to do processing.
Thank you, Judge. I have no further questions of this witness.
All right, cross-examination. All right, is she subject to recall then?
She is not.
All right, you're free to go. Thank you, ma'am. Have a good
Thank
day.
you.
Thank you.
You have another witness?
Judge, I just have a stipulated document that I'd like to put into evidence.
Okay.
Judge, at this time, I would like to offer into evidence as Commonwealth's 169, a report from DNA Labs International, previously referred to by our witness, Mr. Leach, as DLI, specifically the testing of the zipper, button, and waistband area of the blue jeans from Joseph Ryan, which indicated the presence of DNA from Christine Banfield and Joseph Ryan. Brendan Banfield and Juliana were excluded as contributors. The mixture profile was tested using stir mix, and the probabilistic information is contained within the report.
All right, any objection then? All right, 169 is in evidence.
And at that point in time, Judge, the Commonwealth is out of witnesses
For today.
for today.
Okay. All right, that's fine, ladies and gentlemen. It's 4:30. We can go ahead and break. We're actually going to be breaking until Tuesday now because remember, you don't come tomorrow, so you get the day off. And we will reconvene on Tuesday since Monday is a holiday. Okay, so make sure you are here early on Monday. I am going to read you a few instructions. This is the same instruction I gave you the first day when you were impaneled, just a little longer so we can remember my order.